Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Up Your Brave live stream panel. You'll be very pleased to know that I've got a beautiful friend, Joe Davenport, and we are totally up to date. We've got all the show notes from the previous episodes up to date. So if you want to check out anything that you missed, you can check it out, nataliecutlerwelsh.com/video series. And today we're going to dive into the topic of confidence and happiness. What I love doing, I've started doing this a few weeks ago, whatever my live stream topic is, I make that the topic for the week within my whole community. So in my free group, we're talking about confidence and happiness. And here today with my beautiful experts, we're going to talk about this topic, which I think right now is more crucial than ever. Let's bring them in. Here we go. Hello, my beautiful guests. Hey, we've got Diana Thomson from Speech Marks. Hey, Diana.
Hi there.
We've got Shailesh Bagwe. How are you today? Looking very relaxed.
Absolutely.
And we've got Simona Lee-Spart. Hey, Simona.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
Yay. I'm so thrilled to talk about this topic. So you guys, as you know, we're going to introduce the guests. We're going to roll into a couple of tips or insights. I like to use that word as well. But of course, if you're watching us live or you're watching the replay, let us know geographically where you're watching from. And we'd love to know one of your tips for how to remain confident or happy. So definitely share with us. All right, let's talk about Diana. So Diana and I have been business friends for many years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and she's an amazing speaker. She helps people to be confident. Her business is called Speech Marks. So I'm going to read to you a little bit of a bio. Here she is. Diana Thomson is a keynote speaker, author, and public speaking coach that discovered the power of speaking up during a time of upheaval and change while living in Singapore. She went from being shy and awkward on to winning speaking competitions and became a mentor for others. What an amazing story. I love that. She started Speech Marks back in 2016 to help women speak up and now helps people from all genders' voice to be heard. Yes. Her book, Anyone Can Speak Confidently, is for anyone that needs extra confidence or guidance to speak in meetings or other opportunities. Love the product placements. Her business is Speech Marks Coaching, and she also has something called She Says So. We do have a promo code, which you can mention later on, so people can get that book. Welcome, Diana. Please tell us a little bit more about you and take us to your first tip.
Well, that was the whirlwind. Thank you, Natalie, and hello, everyone. It's a great topic at the moment because I know a lot of people are suffering from a knock to self-confidence. Some people said, you know, the lockdown was fantastic, but getting back out into the big wide world is even a little bit challenging at the moment. So I've, as a bio said, and it's slightly tweaked for this topic, is that I didn't start out as a confident speaker. I had times in my life where I had some good experiences, but I've also had some doozy blues as well. And in fact, in one of my keynotes, I talk about how I went on to win this round of competitions in Singapore and get to the final, which actually was technically an international final because there was 2 clubs from Thailand that joined us in Singapore. But then I just crashed and burned to the point of like it was awful because not only did I not do as well as I wanted to, but I got disqualified from the competition for being a few seconds over, which at national level is, you know, it's a bloody disgrace, quite frankly. And of course, that knocked my confidence right back down to that's it. I'm not speaking again. I'm not doing this. And I had to rebuild my confidence back up. So I suppose really that gets to my first big tip. And I talk about how you don't have to be a confident speaker to start getting better at public speaking. You just have to start. And in fact, your public speaking training and journey can help make you more confident because you start to do what is critical with self-confidence, which is that you have some success and you have failure, you know, good speeches, bad speeches, win competitions, get disqualified. But you get more resilient. But you have to just decide to start because action will create that confidence. So that's a lot about my approach, and it's also, my book is also about finding other opportunities to speak more.
Yeah, putting yourself out there is definitely crucial. Thank you for that awesome tip. That's so good. All right, Shailesh, we're going to go to you. I'm going to read a little bit of background. So we were introduced actually by two people. So you guys know I love introducing people. I love connecting people. Well, I've got a few friends that love it too. So my beautiful friend Gemma Celeste, also my hair icon as well. She just colored her hair very, very red. And also Josie from Me Time with Josie. Both of them independently introduced me to you. And it's been awesome to just connect with you over the last, 6 months or so. And today having you on the show, very excited. So Shailesh is a multifaceted person, tax agent. You're a tax agent running a business advisory service, here in Auckland, also passionate about community, charity work. And one of your achievements, of course, is your video conferencing services that you've implemented with the DHB, which is the District Health Board in New Zealand. So very forward thinking, action taker like me, which I love. Shailesh once envisioned a media source that worked on a true media ethos and transparency, and is proud to now have created this called World News on the same foundations. This is a very topical issue, obviously, right now, wanting to have true news, not fake news, and all the things. So I look forward to hearing more about that, and I look forward to hearing your tips on confidence and happiness. Welcome, Shailesh.
Thank you very much, Natalie, first of all, to introduce and to give me an opportunity to talk here. But it's amazing that I always like, as you rightly said, I love to connect like you. So connecting today with Simona and Diana is absolutely, that was my confidence to start with. So that was great. So I started on a good note. I can say that today. But yeah, you gave me a lot of my introduction. That's awesome. What basically confidence for me is nothing but really knowing yourself, that how good you are and how good you can be, and not realizing that your own abilities and your skills that you study. So your parents give you opportunity to education. They make you study this, study that, and then they point out that you are good in this, you're good in that. But really the confidence comes at that point where, are we really confident in doing this just because my mom is telling, or my dad is telling, or my friends are telling? Or do I have to search myself that what do I want to do and how confident I will be able to do that? So for me, confidence is nothing but knowing yourself with oneself. And Diana pointed out quite rightly, doing things is the only way your confidence can come. There is no other way that without communicating, you can have confidence. So today we are confident here to talk to each other, to face each other. That's confidence itself is in itself is great. And that's the good stuff. That's for me, I would say that confidence. Self-esteem, people talk about, and I have gone through situations where challenging, where shifting from one business or shifting from one field to another field, thinking whether I would be confident in doing that. But I wasn't thinking about that. What I was thinking, whether I will be able to do things. That's it. If I can do things, that means I am confident of doing things. So taking further to every step that you take, just like a little boy or a little girl, when she takes her first step and second step with holding the hands of mom and dad, that's what I would say is the confidence begins from there. It's because you're doing and you are taking the action at that point and not becoming backward. So for me, that's my take on it. I hope.
And confidence, it's so interesting, isn't it? Because you can be confident in some aspects of your life or in some circles of people. And then in a whole nother scenario, you're just not. I mean, that's just the nature of life. I don't think people are actually, well, I am a very confident person, but put me in a situation like if you take me skiing, for example, which I don't like to be cold. I'm a total wuss. I am Canadian, but I'm not a skier, and I have to go and ski. I'll be frustrated. I'll be not enthusiastic. Like I won't be my normal self. So in different scenarios, I feel like we are confident, but I think the key is putting ourselves in positions where, we can grow our confidence as long as it's heading us towards where we want to go, which is something I'm really excited about. So I see that we do have people viewing. I know we haven't gotten any comments yet, but if you guys let us know what's resonating for you. Have you, is any of this landing for you? Let us know that you're there. We'd love to hear from you. I'm going to go to Simona. Now, Simona and I met because our sons, our boys, both were in the stage production last year, with NYTC here in Auckland. It's an amazing show. Her son was the lion in the Wizard of Oz, and my son was in the cast. And I remember reaching out to you because I saw you in the parent group and I saw that you were a podcaster. Just the other day, I went and watched your TED Talk, which was so amazing. So I'd love you to mention that as well. So I'm going to read your little bio here. Simona Lee Spark is a relationship coach and LGBTQ activist. Simona is the owner and founder of Spark Transformation Academy. She works with LGBTQ families, supporting them to release limiting beliefs so they can fully embrace their new identity. Simona's mission is to help individuals and couples from every walk of life to become the parents their children need them to be. She's a TEDx speaker, a published author, and creator and host of Redefined Family in the Modern Age of LGBTQ Podcast, Spark Transformation Academy, the Confident Parent course. Welcome, Simona.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm so honored to meet you guys and to have the opportunity to share my perspective about confidence. So it really ties into what you just said, Natalie, earlier. And my belief is that most of us adults, we think we lack confidence, but what's happening is we lack a skill. Mm. So when you give the example with the skiing, I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because when we don't know something, of course, we're going to be afraid of it, right? It's how we are built, right? Our brain is going to freak out like, oh, don't take me there. I'm out of the comfort zone. So, but when we learn and we repeat and we develop that skill, this is why we become confident. So I'm glad that you mentioned my TED Talk. Just for those of you here that don't know, I never give a talk ever in my life. That was my first talk ever. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you could imagine how scared and terrified I was, but not because I didn't have the confidence. I have zillions of evidence throughout my life how confident I am as a person, but I never been on a stage. I never give a talk. And I was invited to give a TEDx talk and to share such a personal part of my story and of my life. So never lacked the confidence, but definitely lacked the skill of public speaking at that point. So in my practice, and especially working with parents and families and teens and so on, the paradigm, the work frame is nobody lacks confidence. You don't need to gain confidence. Everybody has it. We were born with it. Like you do not see a 2 years old that lacks confidence of speaking or is afraid about how people might judge what they say or how they might move or how they might dance. They're confident. It's a proof that we all have it. So what happened is what the other people on panel said already is that we grow up and we are like all smash into those little boxes. Like you have to do it like this. This is the way to do it. This is not good. This is right. And then it's just slapping on our confidence. And here we are adults in our 40s and 50s. And we don't know what the hell do we want in this life. And we are like afraid of leaving the house. And we say, oh, we lack confidence. No, it's there. So all we do, we unpack. We let go of all the labels, all the stereotypes, and go back in and find out who we are and actually unleash that confidence that's already within. That's what I have to say about that.
And that fits so nicely with what Shailesh was saying about really, knowing yourself, knowing who you are instead of who people tell you are and the way that you should be. We've got a few comments. Thank you so much, Josie, from Me Time with Josie. She says, for me, makeup helps me to be confident. But of course, having no makeup as well, I've seen you do that too, as long as you don't rely on it, right? I guess in some situations where we lack confidence, we have to up our brave and fake it till we make it. So put your face on and your colors to increase your confidence. I do encourage people to change what they're wearing, like changing the way they show up can shift your energy. But I don't love the fake it till you make it thing. I actually like the phrase believe until you achieve. And I feel like it just has a different energy, because I'm like, I'm not going to pretend I'm confident if I'm not. But if you believe in something so strongly, you know, or you believe you want to have the skill. I mean, even skiing is the bad example, but if I really, really wanted to be a good skier, you know, I'm sure. So believe until you achieve, really, I feel like it's a different take on the fake it till you make it. So open to everyone's thoughts on that as well.
Well, fake it till you make it's very, very frequently attached to public speaking.
Yes.
And I think there's an element there that it can be seen as quite a destructive phrase, like you've suggested there, Natalie, because you're still not believing in yourself initially, and you're actually better to spend some time thinking about a positive outcome rather than focusing on what if I lose my place, what if they don't laugh in the right place, what if, which you can, you know, like if you focus on the negative stuff, then that's going to influence your approach and your confidence. But fake it, sometimes there is an element of being inauthentic and faking it to start. Now, the reason for that in speaking is that quite often people are really bad judges of how good they are. You know, they sit down and we say to She Says So class, how was that? How do you feel? Oh, I went all right. Yeah. And we're like, well, we loved it. Did you?
Yeah.
You know, like the people are their own worst harsh critics. So no wonder we lack a bit of self-confidence. And it's, you know, survey after survey will show that women have a lower confidence level than men, particularly in their 20s. So, and that's a whole different discussion. But so it's about understanding, as Shailesh said, you have the skills that you've got. Focus on those and then start believing in a positive outcome, and you're more likely to get it. So yeah, I like that one rather than fake it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta put on your game face.
Yeah.
Just to
like
add to that.
actually, a speaking example, I had a friend and she's a speaker, and she got a text just before going on stage, which it's like, turn off your phone, right? But she got a text which was really distressing about a friend's health overseas. And she just had to fake it till she made, like she had to. She was going on stage. She had to just park that. And so that's where I feel like it's relevant. Sometimes it is relevant. So yeah, Josie, thank you for your comments. And thank you for making a comment. Go ahead, Simona.
If I might add to that, I really like what Diana says, and it's so beautifully, because this doesn't have to do so much with the confidence of, like, hold on, talking about speaking, I lost my words here. But I'm confident about it. It is.
I can go to Shailesh and come back to you. Are you good?
What was that?
Have you found your thought?
Yeah. So the confidence is that, we get to practice and learn that skill. So we don't lack that self-confidence, but we really, really, what we lack is the self-esteem. Because the self-esteem is what speaks to how do I feel about myself? So when that person get, off the stage and everybody is applauding and you did so great, and if you don't have self-esteem, you're going to think about yourself that you did poorly. So it has nothing to do with the confidence. So it's all I want to add to that.
Differentiation. Yeah, go ahead, Shailesh.
Yeah, so just to add to that, what Diana said, that the world that we are living in, as I have noticed, like currently, too many news, too many media that we come across, that they are all based on not facts. So they are based on something to please someone kind of thing, where our confidence is now ruined into that we don't want to speak the truth, or we don't want to be yourself or be ourselves. So we are trying to hide our own confidence, our own self-esteem. Even like I have made lots of events and I make people speak. So I like speakers and I love speakers who speak their mind. So I was quite impressed that Diana itself is a speaker and Natalie is always a good speaker. But Diana is a good author, speaker, so that makes me more better. So when you speak like TED style talks or whatever, you try to make them comfortable. TED style talk is nothing but actually giving you a self-confidence of being yourself in that stage with the people and not like alone yourself. So you're talking with the people, among the people, and you are as if like you are a casual discussion and talking. And that's where the TED style talk has become more popular, because you can speak your mind, you can, the way you want and what you are, you really truly, you try to depict. But today, in the olden days and in the previous, what we used to believe or make believe that, oh no, you got to please, you can't say this, you make your speech alter, you try to do this way or that way just to please others.
Mm.
And that's not really speaking, or that's not really confidence. That's just making up. As Josie said, that make up is like making up. So you make up and you threw your colors, you know. So, no, that's definitely self-confidence, or confidence is nothing but really, really putting out yourself. So when speakers come and tell me, what should I speak, Shailesh? And I said, just be yourself and don't even think what people will think about you. There will always be division. Some people like it, some people don't like it. But when you speak your own mind, people will reflect back that, geez, that person was real. At least you will get that message out of
They
it.
do love that, don't they? I'm going to share one of my tips, and one of the activities that I did today. I did actually yesterday in my free group, which you guys are welcome to join, by the way. It's called Amplify Your Impact, Business and Wellness. And I talked about confidence and happiness. And I asked the people to write down 10 things that make them happy or confident. So, for me, I said, one of the things that makes me happy at the moment is watching Merlin on Netflix with my 9-year-old. Like, it's our thing, like just the two of us. And every day after school, I'm like, Merlin? And he's like, okay. And we just sit there and we watch. It's all about magic and dragons. And it's our thing, our bonding thing. Similarly, me having a hot bath, by myself, no kids interrupting me or knocking on the door. Like, I love that. That makes me so happy. So it's easy, I would hope, to think of a list of 10 things that make you either confident or happy. Write those down. And then in your calendar for the week, like, make some appointments with yourself. Go like, I'm going to do, if you love going to yoga, put yoga down. If you hate going to yoga and you only go because you said you would and you think you should, do not go to yoga, right? We do not want to live our life in the should zone. It is a recipe for unhappiness. You do not want to live your life in the frustration zone. It is a recipe for unhappiness. We want to live in that want zone, the impact zone. So I would say, like, put things in the calendar that actually make you happy. I feel like you need to be intentional about how you feel. Like, how do you want to feel? Okay, great. Let's move towards that. Let's do more stuff that makes us happy. My friend the other day said to me, Nat, my kids are like, Nat's always happy. I'm like, literally 90% of the time, totally. But hey, I get angry, I get frustrated, no problem. But I really am happy most of the time, for sure. But I think it's a lot of it is because I don't live my life in the should zone, and I'm not guided by guilt. I don't believe in perfection. Trust me, it makes your life a lot easier to do those.
Yeah, so perfection's one of the ones, actually, Natalie, that I think is the biggest confidence killer that you can get.
Nice.
So I really coach my people in saying, you're not aiming for perfection. Perfection will just stop action, and perfection will just destroy your confidence, because your version of perfection is not necessarily what people want anyway. I've listened to speeches that people have said them word for word, that the way they wrote them, and they were the only reason I remember them is because of what they did, not what they said. I remember them because of how bad they were, but they thought they were perfect.
Interesting. And that relates to self-esteem. So yeah, we're gonna go for round number 2. I love this. We're having a very exciting dialogue. So we'll go for round number 2, which is your second tip or insight to help people be confident. Diana, you're getting some love, as you know. Good. Oh, and like Josie's saying perfection is totally what holds her back. And so thank you for your honesty. I think it's really something that is it holds a lot of people back. So thank you for putting that out there. All right, Diana, go ahead.
So they we've touched on it obviously already. It's about taking action every day. So one of the things that my clients come and say, people say to me, I'm really nervous about speaking. I'm no good at it. They talk themselves down, but they don't realize that they're really doing some form of speaking, definitely every day, and even public speaking. So we actually focus on where are all these opportunities that you can take action every day. And once you start to realize you're taking action on this thing that you want to improve and build your self-confidence with, then you start to feel happier, because this taking action every day and taking notice of it is actually a really great way to build up your experience, knock up some successes, learn from a few less successful things, and then you can start to build resilience and start to become comfortable. Once you start to do that, you're really going to find it easy to visualize success. And then when you get to a bigger audience, a bigger event, you'll actually be able to focus on a successful outcome rather than all the what ifs. So trying to take action every day would be another great one.
You mentioned incremental action as well. Nice. All right. Shailesh, we'll go to you. And Simona, if you want to comment, I don't know if you want to comment on Josie's saying, how do we overcome the perfection syndrome? You might have some tips for that too. Shailesh, let's go to your second.
Yeah, so taking it from there where you are taking always actions gives you a good confidence to doing things. But the second one, I personally feel that to me that has worked very well is surrounded by confident people. And when I say confident people, people who take actions, as Natalie said and touched on, that people who take actions are the ones that you got to be. It's not about right or wrong or ifs and buts. It's about doing something that you like, that you want to do. And so surrounding with confident people or surrounding with people who are taking actions is always the best way of giving your more self-esteemed a good steam, I would say.
Totally agree.
Yeah, so that's something that I would always cherish. And when you go into any speaking event or public speaking event, you always find people who are listeners, but then when they listen and then when they talk, that's where you come to know that, yeah, what you are speaking or what they are speaking is what really you want to be. And so that gives you more inner confidence to do other things and to put your things in place. So yeah, that would be my second guess, wild guess, like, yes, confident, because that has worked and it's also a learning experience of everyone's that you are sharing. And when people share their learning experience, that's where you gain that more association of people who are confident with you. So
I think also, like Diana was mentioning, coming out into the real world again post-lockdown, I think people are being more intentional about how they spend their dollars, but I keep saying to people, also please be very intentional about how you spend your oh so valuable time and energy as well. And that includes who you're hanging out with, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. And during these challenging times, I think what we have seen is people have come out of this comfort zone and people were too complacent of not thinking differently. Now they have started thinking differently, at least making an attempt. Whether they would do it or they won't do it is a secondary thing, but at least they are making an attempt to just go and have a try and see, because there is a gestation period, as we call it now, that another 6 months down the line, nothing is going to be same as what they could expect. Exactly. So they have to adjust to the new norm, kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, Simona, we'll go to you for your second tip.
Yes, well, I want to tie it into what has been told about self-esteem. And I think when it's the confidence and how we show up confidently every day is really going in and boost our self-worth, which is pretty much what you were saying earlier, Natalie, of finding what are the things, the activities, the spaces, the people, and everything else that makes me happy, like self-care, self-love, and that is going to boost my self-worth. In that way, I could have a really strong shield, if you wish, of what people might say or might not say, or judgment they place on me that is actually affecting my self-esteem. So that being said, my second tip is really redefining what are your personal boundaries. And the way that we could identify, like, where is it, where I want it, when I want it, is really, you just know because you feel uncomfortable. When you feel uncomfortable based on a situation or somebody might said something or whatever the circumstances are, that is a signal that your personal boundaries need to be probably upgraded. Because what we do, and we see with this, coming out of the lockdown, is we forget the fact that we become a different person every day. Like today, my identity is different than it was yesterday. So today, I get to feel uncomfortable or comfortable about things that I didn't yesterday. So what is required is to look at my personal boundaries, look at my personal preferences, and actually upgrade them so they will match my identity today. In my work, I do a lot of identity work, and that's the place that we kind of forgot. Like with all this pandemic things, we keep here like, okay, I want the things to get back to normal. That's impossible. That's impossible. It's asking for tomorrow to be yesterday. It's not going to happen. So what is required is to look inside of our soul and say, okay, so we went through this experience. Oh, how do I feel about it? Who am I being today? And what are the beliefs, the habits, the boundaries, that everything in my life that needed to be upgraded so they match who I am today? If they don't match, I cannot be happy. That's why I'm not happy, because I'm out of alignment based on an event, based on a habit, based on et cetera, et cetera. So I wish I could type into, and I don't know how to answer into the chat. So I just want to take 10 seconds to answer to Jocelyn, if I say her name correctly. Overcome the perfection syndrome. The first invitation that I will have for you is to actually look into, is that your story, or is that a story that's been passed to you?
Nice.
Because chances are that whatever we know that the perfection is, it's something that we been taught. And as adults, we actually get to unlearn everything that we learn and decide how our life is going to look like, and what is the skills that I want to learn, what is the new belief system that I want to adopt, et cetera, and what perfection means to you. Because it get to mean something else that means to me or anybody else. It's all I want to give as a suggestion, as a starting point, and see how everything might shift from there.
I love that. You're basically empowering her, saying you have the freedom, like just because you've been told you're a perfectionist or you think you are, and it serves you in many ways, trust me. But also, is that how you want to be? Like, how do you actually want to show up? It's interesting. In my Amplify membership this week, we are doing branding. So you talked about identity, and I'm saying to the girls, like, what are you about? What do you stand for? How do you want your people to feel? What are the words? What are the colors? And branding is a funny word. It's a very marketing word. But the point is, it's a great exercise. I think everyone could look at their branding and just think about, who am I? How do I want to show up? As Simona mentioned, you are the creator. You are the CEO of your own life. You can show up however you want. It needs to feel right, and it needs to feel aligned. It doesn't need to be that you. Like, you can recreate yourself every day, like you said.
Yeah, it's the print, right? Like, we are entrepreneurs here, and I'm just going to talk about myself, but I've been told, like, this is what you need to do in your marketing, and this is the number of followers that you need to have, and this is the things that you need to do. And all of that, they just don't feel right to me. So guess what? I'm not doing them. So it's like, I'm only going to do what feels right. What feels right to me is to talk with my people. What feels right to me is to fly in different countries to fertility conferences and support my community and talk with people and ask them. And that's what feels right to me. So whatever followers I have on Instagram, that doesn't affect my life. It simply doesn't. So yes, you could go and follow, and it's like, okay, I understand that we need to be present on media and whatever. I don't enjoy doing that. So therefore, I hire somebody to do that for me. You go ahead. This is my message. This is my copy. You go do pre-graphics, whatever is required, but I don't have to do it.
Yes.
So my invitation is, especially when we talk about professionalism, is like, why do you want to do it? Do you really want to do it for yourself, or do you want to do it because somebody else require or expect of you to do it? And if it's a yes, and you want to do it for yourself, then go ahead, pull out the support that you needed to learn that skill, to reach that perfection that you want to reach. If it's not for you and it's for somebody else, guess what? Just drop it. Just drop it.
Yeah, that's great advice, because touching on that social media thing, it can be a real confidence killer, right? So, yeah. I mean, if it's not your bag, don't do it. I mean, I know people that are wildly successful and they've never posted anything on social media, sort of thing, and other people that have become very successful because of social media, but doing what feels right is really important. Another idea for people that are getting crippled a bit by perfection, and which is making them unhappy, just to kind of bring it back to the topic, and destroying self-confidence, is to understand. It just made me remember that anybody that's done anything like those disc profiling things, this is just one of those sort of tools that we use. The disc profiling personality behaviors, they go on the philosophy that everybody has multiple strengths, but if their strength, if overused, can become a weakness.
Yeah.
So perfectionism sounds negative, but in the right balance, it can be really good. It could be really necessary. Like, we like our accountants to be perfectionists. Sort of thing, right? That's really important, is it not, Shailesh?
Yes, absolutely agreed.
but we probably don't want some of the other people that we work with or interact with to be perfectionists, because dinner would never get cooked. So, you know, like there's just use it as a tool, but not as your operating, your only operating system.
Yes, love that. And Simona, what you said also leads me so nicely to my second tip, which people, if you follow me, you've heard me say it before. If you don't love it, don't do it. So it's like, you're a perfect example with the Instagram, you know. And I had a few people, this is an interesting era that we're going into. And a few years ago, I went to a brilliant business event, and they talked about how we're moving in towards a multi-gig economy where people will be having multiple revenue streams. And I mean, I'm so relieved. I don't have all my eggs in one basket. So I feel like now people are they're diversifying how they're earning their money. But also, post-COVID is a time for people to actually go, you know what? Like me, for 2 years, I wanted to dye my hair red. I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I had someone on Facebook today. He's like, hey, everyone, I'm a real estate agent. Like, he used to own a cafe. It's like, it's almost an excuse for people to suddenly go, you know what? I'm going to take a big pivot. I'm going to take a turn, not just because they kind of have to or the economy, but because finally they're like, this is a great opportunity for me to actually drop what's not serving me, not do what, you know, all the things I think I should do, and try something new because it's either fun or it's smart. Not all the eggs in the same basket. So my tip really piggybacks off yours. If you don't love it, don't do it. Awesome. All right, let's do the final round. We're going to go for the final round, which is what's cool about you? What's coming up, and how can we connect? Let me explain. The reason why I added this question, you're going to love this, Diana, is I was reading a book called The Millionaire Success Habits, right? And by Dean Gregozzi. And he had this activity in it where he went to see a coach, like a mentor. And the mentor said to him, I want you to write a list of what's cool about you. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, nothing's cool. He was like, no, you know, any habits that you have, party tricks, talents, any cool achievements that you've done. And he started writing this list. And as he read it out, guess what happened to his confidence? Right? So it's actually a confidence building activity. I use it in my work with my clients as a branding kind of, hey, here's some things you can talk about on Instagram. You don't always have to talk about, you know, if you're a Pilates instructor, what else is cool about you? I'm sure there's other things that have nothing to do with Pilates. Talk about that. So I use it in business, but I also use it for confidence. And we do it with your kids. It's an amazing activity for your kids as well. So it's actually a confidence activity. So let's go. What is cool about you, even if you don't associate the word cool?
I'm laughing because, you know, like I'm a mother of 2 intermediate age children. So they think I'm essentially uncool. And in fact, Natalie, I think you can identify with this. Sometimes my husband and I try and be as uncool as possible just to wind them up and have a laugh at their expense. So being cool is not something that I really identified with. But I suppose the thing is that when 2 things, they seem to think that having a mum as an author, product placement, is quite cool. Not everybody can say their parents have written a book. And then the other thing is probably saying that I got to the the present company excluded. Not everyone can say they got to the final of an international speech competition. We leave that there. We don't talk about the epic failure beyond in it, but yeah.
Awesome. Okay. What have you got coming up, if anything? Tell it, She Says So or whatever.
Well, first of all, for anybody that's listening and hasn't downloaded my top speaking tips off my website, please do that. They're there free of charge. You just need to go onto the landing page and they're there, and that'll give you some more ideas about how to calm your nerves and some confidence building tips for speaking. That's the free one. And I'm also offering a discount on not the paperback, but I can offer that if you want to contact me, but on the EPUB, which is the electronic version that's not Kindle, if you know what I mean, for those of you that like ebooks and electronic versions, through the website of Indie Experts. If you put in the code SpeechMarks20, you'll get 50% off that. So half price. I think that comes down to like $1.50 or something for the
awesome.
e-version.
I think I did put I put all the information in the description. So.
It's all there on the line, and also inviting any woman that are keen to have a look at public speaking, maybe particularly those that have tried Toastmasters and hated it or didn't really click or didn't suit them. Come along to my She Says So, either virtual or in person tomorrow, and then fortnightly after that. So there's a couple of things that you can have a look at and see if something resonates with you.
Okay, and that's in Auckland. Yes.
That's in well, one's virtual, so it's on a Zoom call.
Oh, brilliant.
So,
great. Thank you so much. All right, Shailesh, we'll go to you.
What's cool about me? It's a good question, isn't it? Like everybody is some way or the other, they are cool about something which they don't know, but others tell them, this guy is cool or this lady is cool. I can talk, I can speak anything, everything, So for me, becoming cool or being cool is only one thing, is like whether you are able to talk and able to communicate with every aspect or every topic under the sun. So for me, as Diana said that, kids are a big part of this generation, particularly when this new generation, the way they think and the way they expect, and the expectations are quite different to what we were brought up. So for us, or for me, is like, if I can able to communicate with all my associates, all my business partners, or all my kids, it's absolutely good to know that, okay, they feel nothing to hide from me, anything, and they talk to me. And that's a cool thing that I feel. It's good that I can relate to them.
Right.
And that's, for me, is a good becoming cool, is only that for me.
And what have you got?
I like that. That's really nice.
The good thing is now that I'm starting a couple of series, and I was trying to rope in Natalie as well at some stage, but now I got Diana as well. It's a good author, speaker. So maybe I'm just starting a series called Real Connection. And the real connection means it's like talking about the experiences of people, what they experienced in their life journeys, and how positively they have grown out of it, and how positively they would like to see growing further, not really putting back. So we are talking about people, to any people who have contributed, who have not contributed, but who have experienced some cool things in their journey, and would be interviewing those people. So that's my series coming up very soon, Real Connection. The other thing, so I will be going, and the other thing I will be doing is also be local, buy local. Now, be local, buy local is a good topic at the moment, everywhere it's going, and supporting locals and supporting local businesses. But it's not just products and services, it's actually becoming real local in real sense. Because what used to happen until COVID-19, that we used to depend on lots of overseas products and services. So when we depend on overseas products and services, we always also depend on overseas thinking and ideology. And I would like to change that a little bit, whatever I could, in contributing to becoming more local, more Kiwis. The way we think, the way we cool are, the way we think. We are an island, but we are coming from different big islands, but we are now in an island which is totally different. And we shouldn't be changing our narratives, or we shouldn't be changing our traditions, kind of thing, where we have shown the world that we are different, that we do act differently, we do support and we do trust our leaders, and we do trust our people to show the way, show the path. So, and it has been evidence. So I think be local, buy local is not just products and services, but really in real sense becoming locals and trying to promote local tourism or local domestic travel, finding and identifying the good things about New Zealand, about local, about every single town, not just one city or one town. So
and it is we are very multicultural as well. Even here on this panel, we've got a couple of different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's something that I would be starting that another series, which is coming up soon as well. So it's all going to be in my media channel. So I would encourage everyone to go and at least have a look or peek. So it's something different. It's not, my media has never been on the basis of twisting, twigging, conflicting, debating, or gossiping. It's only doing and giving real things. That's it. From the
real,
state.
and that's what I think about you. It's what we talked about before, real talk, like real talk about real issues that matter to everybody. Yeah, thank you so much. We've got a couple comments I'm going to read out from the chat. So we've got Steph. Thank you, Steph Johnston. She's got a business called Create and Thrive. Steph says, I guess working out your values is a good place to start to work out what's right for you and is helpful too in terms of confidence building. Yes, definitely. It's something, it's one of those activities we do now and then. If you have a life coach, they often will start with doing a values activity, but sometimes in the day-to-day we get so busy, so it's important to do that. Thank you, Kelly, for your comment. It's having a style or flair that resonates or that is attractive to people. It could be unique. It's a feeling you give people. I guess this is the confidence as well. Thank you so much. All right, Simona, we'll go to you for what's cool about you and how can we find you online?
Well, what's cool about me, I will say what other people says about me. You know, as it's been said, cool means different things for different people. People find cool about me the fact that I already mentioned my first talk ever was a TEDx talk. I would qualify that as cool myself too. Another thing that people find cool about me is that I've been living on 3 different continents and many countries and states. So I'm original from Romania. I moved to United States 11 years ago. I lived there for about 8 years. I live in New Jersey. I live in Virginia. I live in Minnesota. And 3 years ago, we moved here in New Zealand. And the other day, I just signed a list. So I'm going to have an apartment in LA. So I'm going to be living in California as well. So that's cool about me, like being adaptable, and you could, you know, take me, put me anywhere on this planet and I'll be just fine. I think it ties into confidence somehow. Another thing that I'm proud of is that 11 years ago when I moved to the United States, I was a single mom and my kid was 6 at the time. We have no family, no friends, and we did not speak English. And I think that's the biggest accomplishment of my life, to actually build a life and a relationship with my kid with no support, and get out of the belief that I'm not capable of learning a language and actually learn this language and write in English and be published in English. And currently I'm studying Mandarin and French because why not? I get to do whatever the hell I want, and I want to learn languages. So that for now. If you want to find out more about me, just type my name. You could find my website. You could find me on media. Some of them are my posts. Most of them are the person that I hire, as I already said. But currently, so I just launched my academy 3 years ago. It's a virtual school for adults, and it's mainly built to support parents in becoming the parents that their children need. So this is the foundation of my work, like letting go of all the beliefs that you think that will make you a better parent or whatever, and actually only listen to your child opinion about your parenting and who you are as a parent. So currently, the course that is out there for enrollment, it's called Confident Parent. Look at that, confidence again. And it's teaching adults how to raise confident children by becoming a confident parent. So this is a $3,000 course that until July 1st, it's out there for $97. Yes, I'm not kidding. It's $97. It's a giant course. We go through all the limiting beliefs that the parent need to upgrade in order to become confident, and confident around specific topics as sex, sexuality, gender identity, how to support our children from the day they're born until we are alive in having this continuous conversation and actually allow them to become and grow into who they are meant to be. So it's an amazing course. I'm really proud of it. I've been building it for the past 3 years. I pull a lot of resource from different parents, from different culture, 5 different continents, where I flew in person to different events, webinars, workshop, conferences, and actually pull all this data and put them all together in this, I dare to call it a little bit of masterpiece. So I invite all of you to go, stalk me on media. There is a lot of links there how you could join. And any questions, you have the email. I'm an open book. That's another cool about me. I'm not holding back. You get what I am. I'm saying what I think. I'm okay with being wrong. I'm okay with getting it wrong. And that's what you get.
Thank you. That's so amazing. Oh my gosh. I think getting it wrong, like we said, that it's almost the opposite of perfection, is a very crucial element or ingredient to confidence. So thank you for pointing that out. You know what? The whole topic of kids and teens and confidence, I really want to dive into. We're definitely going to cover it in another episode. If you guys have seen, I've done 2 episodes on teens. We've done supporting teens, we've done empowering teens, and we've done supporting kids through challenging times. So definitely check those out. But it's obviously, there's more that we're going to dive into around the kids and the teens. I think it's massive. So that your course sounds incredible. We will definitely put the link up there. Thank you so much to my beautiful guests for joining me. I'm going to pop you over here. Please do not go away. I'll just pop you. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me. So in terms of what's coming up for us this week, the theme, we continue with confidence and happiness. I'm doing 2 online trainings tomorrow for Wellness Wednesday. You guys know I love my essential oils. There's actually an oil called Cheer, which is for happiness. But sometimes we don't just want to be happy. Like, being happy is not the answer. Sometimes you need to be brave. You need to be stronger. And love it. Product placement. Hello. This is the kids kit, which just came out in New Zealand in June. It's brand new, and it's got oils called Thinker to help them study, Calmer to help them sleep and be calm, Brave, Steady. So what it is, and I'm a really big fan of helping kids specifically acknowledge their emotions. Like, how do I feel? I call it AIM, acknowledge how you feel. I, how do you intend to feel? And then M, what are you going to do to move towards that? And I use oils as part of my tool belt to help myself and my kids and lots of families around New Zealand. So that's coming up. That's 11 o'clock tomorrow. Also 8 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be talking about confidence and happiness, giving you some tips and some oils to help with that. And then carrying on the conversation throughout the week. Next week, we're going to be talking about sharing your story. And after that, we're going to be talking about growing your business during times of change. So there's a few more episodes coming up before I wrap up the season. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm open to your feedback. And also, until next time, remember to up your brave, say what you want, and make it happen. Thanks, you guys. See you.